Hi everyone, my name is Clovery, and today we're going to be talking about how to turn your life around and how that might look like. Now, for myself, I am a pretty motivated person, and I like to always be doing something or working towards a certain goal, but don't let that fool you. I definitely have had and still do have moments where I feel sort of stuck. And I recently have been kind of getting out of one of those little slumps, and I kind of thought it'd be fun to share with you guys some of the things that really helped me during this journey. Now, the first and foremost is really to just recognize where you are in the present. Are you where you want to be? Look at what some goals might be for yourself. For example, if I was living the perfect life right now, would I be going to the gym consistently? Would I be eating healthier or posting more consistently? Of course, it looks different for everybody, but there's always something that you essentially could have if you really tried. And for myself, one of these things was actually starting a YouTube channel. It's kind of something I've always wanted to do, and I think part of getting out of my slump was starting it because it gave me something to be motivated about and it gave me something to look forward to and almost kind of give me a little bit of purpose. Now, I know in not everybody's case are you going to have the same situation as mine and starting a YouTube channel and all of that. I'm sure some can relate to it, but there's also tons of other ways that you could motivate yourself or have your dream life, whatever that may be. Now, for many, like I said, it could be something as simple as going to the gym consistently or building more muscle or eating healthier. There's so many different things that you can do to incorporate in your life and really get yourself out of that little slump. Now, like I said, first acknowledging that you're actually not in a place you want to be is essentially the first step. Sitting down and looking at what you do from day to day. Are you scrolling all day and laying in bed and ordering DoorDash all the time? I mean, to each their own, but I think in the long run, it's not always the best mentally to always be at home and never get out and do anything. Or, maybe that looks like getting a new job. Sometimes, even if you do have money and you feel like you don't need a job, sometimes getting a job can actually get you out of that slump. I have been there a couple times in my life where I didn't necessarily need a job, but I wanted to get one just for the experience and also something to keep me going. I feel like jobs kind of strengthen a lot of different areas, and you also have to be on time and in some cases get up early, and it's really something that keeps me going, honestly. And as someone who struggles with anxiety and who has struggled with anxiety for their whole life, I do essentially sometimes get in little slumps where I feel too anxious to go out and do things or too anxious to even want to try and pick myself up. And I think that's totally normal, and there's a lot of different things you could do to help yourself in a situation like that. And honestly, for me, it really is just getting out and doing more things. I really find that I am an indoors person. I am a homebody and I love just being at home. But truthfully, sometimes just getting out and hanging out with a friend every once in a while, or going shopping, or just anything to get out of the house can honestly be super beneficial. Now, I know sometimes it can be hard to actually start. I mean, maybe you want to, but you don't know where. There's too many things you want to fix. And I know for myself, I tend to get really overwhelmed very easily. And oftentimes that leads to me either procrastinating or not getting anything done at all. And I find that it's easier to just take things one by one. That is something my boyfriend always tells me. And it's honestly been really helpful to, instead of looking at everything as a whole, just doing things by steps. So maybe you look at the 2 most important things that need to get done, or the 2 most valuable things to yourself that you want to get done or want to change, and just start there. It could be as simple as going for a walk once a day, or eating at least 3 servings of fruit. I don't know. Whatever it is, each person, I'm sure, has their own goals, but something for me is definitely trying to record at least 30 minutes a day. I feel like that's a pretty light goal. 30 minutes is not a ton of time, and it works wonders. It gets me very far in my recording process. And I think that's really helpful. So maybe something that you guys could do is, work out for 30 minutes a day. It's not that bad. Or write for 30 minutes a day, or read for 30 minutes a day. There is literally endless options of things to do. Now, sometimes you have so much to do that you genuinely feel like it's all weighted the same, and you don't know, again, where to start or how to even get better. I mean, maybe you really, really want to be a clean person. You really want to have a clean room, but you just can't get yourself to clean it because it's just too messy. And one bit of recommendation I have is to work on it in sections. So instead of looking at it as a whole and being like, okay, I need to clean up all my laundry, and there's just so much that I don't even want to get it done. Just pick 2 small things to do. For example, clean up all the pieces of trash in your room, and then organize your bookshelf. And then put aside the rest for the next day. That way it doesn't feel too overwhelming, and at least you got something done. And I always say something is better than nothing. I think, you could spend 15 minutes cleaning your room, and it could be a little bit more or a little bit less of an eyesore. Or you could spend that time scrolling and just feel worse about yourself. So honestly, I think 15 minutes just to do a little bit of cleaning really isn't that bad. Now, another little goal that I like to do, or little bit that kind of helps me get things done, is starting early. I find that when I wake up early and get a bunch of things done, I have a much more productive day versus when I sleep until noon and spend my day scrolling and essentially doing nothing. For example, last week, there was 2 different days. One where I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and one where I woke up at 9. On the day that I woke up at 9 in the morning, I scrolled until noon, and after that, I didn't feel like getting any work done or doing anything. Versus today, where I woke up at 6:30 and I fed my cats and gave them their medicine and played with them and did my laundry and scooped the litter boxes and got some recording done. And it's only 11 right now. And I got a lot done in only a couple hours, and I'm already feeling way more productive and ready to go about my day. Now, I know not everybody can wake up early or spend 4 hours doing chores and housework, but for myself, I find it pretty helpful. But if you are just beginning and you want to start small, one really great way to kind of push yourself to be a little bit more motivated throughout the day is to make your bed. I do it every single day, and I truly think it makes a difference. I find on the days that I actually take the time to make my bed and make it look nice, I just feel a lot more productive throughout my morning. And truthfully, making your bed really doesn't take that long. Like, it probably takes me 3 minutes at max. But just knowing that one bit of my room is clean makes me feel a lot better than mess being piled upon mess. Now, another thing for myself is I've been trying to just pick up after myself when I'm done in a certain area. So, for example, if I'm out on the couch and I'm playing Stardew Valley and I'm eating snacks, making sure that I pick those up after myself instead of leaving them there and letting them pile up, because it might seem like, oh, I'm just leaving my snack out this once and I'll clean it up next time, but then next time turns into next time and so forth. And I think it's honestly just better to get it over with in the first place. Now that definitely helps me. I also feel like getting a little bit of movement, whether it's going to the gym or going for a walk, or even just walking around your house and getting a couple steps, or going to a store and just walking around. I feel like that alone just feels a lot better on yourself mentally and physically. I know light movement is actually really good for your body, so luckily I get a lot of movement from my job, whereas I don't really have to go out of my way to do it. Sometimes I do, but usually from where I work, I'm kind of standing and walking all day, so that in itself is definitely very helpful. Now, I'm also trying to make my sniffer farm over here, so I'm gonna plan that out while I'm yapping. But yeah, essentially, I also find it really helpful to stretch. It's something that I actually used to do all the time. I would stretch every night before bed, but I haven't been doing it as much recently just because I've been getting a little lazy, which is not the best example to be talking about right now. But we're being transparent and real here. But I do notice that when I do stretch before bed, I feel a lot better the next day. Mentally, physically, emotionally, just overall a lot better. So I think it's important to take care of yourself and do things like stretch and go for walks and go to the gym or whatever that may look like for you. Sometimes it's even more fun and motivating if you go with a friend. That is something that I have done a couple of times, and it's definitely a lot easier to get out there when you're not doing it alone. But also sometimes it is good to just have some alone time and kind of decompress from your day. Now, like I said, I'm also planning out our little sniffer enclosure, and so I'm kind of working that along as I talk and yap. I don't plan on doing an automatic farm with this. It's kind of just for looks and for cuteness. So we'll see how it ends up looking, because I know usually for the farms you want to kind of build a certain layout or a certain shape, but I think I'm honestly just gonna go for a cutesy little vibe. I think that is a little bit better since this is our forever world after all. And now's a good time to remind you to subscribe if you haven't and join our little journey here. We do lots of fun things on my channel. from Forever Worlds to long plays to SMPs and so much more. So definitely worth a subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to turn your notifications on as well, as we do lots of lives and fun little community events that I just love sharing with you guys. But anyways, back to yapping somewhat on topic. I also find that sometimes, honestly, playing some video games really does help when I'm feeling kind of demotivated. Because for myself, I am the type of person who loves to scroll, and scrolling is probably the worst thing for you. It's kind of like an instant dopamine hit, and it's really just not the best for you mentally. So honestly, for me, just playing a video game feels a little bit more productive than laying in bed and scrolling and just mindlessly doing nothing all day. I'm also debating where I want to put the gate. If I want to... I think I'm going to build like a little sort of gate thingy, but then it's going to be hard to kind of connect it, so I'm going to have to figure out how I might want to do that. Because I kind of want to do like a little arch almost. Let's see how that might look. No, maybe we don't, actually. I could always go back in and add one later. We'll see. I'm excited to get these sniffers in. I haven't really played too much with the sniffers, so it's kind of exciting. Okay, this is cute. I'm gonna add some leaves. But yeah, like, no joke, sometimes just playing Minecraft or Stardew Valley feels a little productive to me, or it makes me feel productive, and my boyfriend has said similar things. For him, his game is like, he really likes Overwatch, and he said sometimes when he plays that, he feels a little bit productive. That or Stardew Valley. And I feel like Stardew Valley, honestly, is just a great game to make you feel productive, because it's like you're farming and you're doing chores, and sometimes it inspires me to do chores in real life. I also think watching other people do things like clean their room or clean an area helps me stay productive. I absolutely adore watching those cleaning TikToks. Those are just so much fun to me. And it's also really just motivational and gets me to get the things I don't want to get done. Now, I think there's definitely lots of ways to motivate yourself or stay motivated, and motivation looks different for everybody. So, you know, for me it might be playing Minecraft, or going for a walk, or I don't know, making my bed. But for other people it might be as small as brushing your teeth or hanging out with a friend. It really does come down to what you enjoy personally. Also, I'm hoping that the sniffers can't get out of here. I'm not quite sure how that works, honestly. I don't know if they can jump. I've never really played with sniffers before, so there's a first for everything, for sure. Okay, let's go actually grab a couple more flowers while we're over here yapping away. I don't know, I think it also, though, is very important to take breaks and not overwhelm yourself. If you're feeling really stressed because you have been doing so much or you have so much going on, then I think it's okay to sit down and take a little break and honestly just take that time that you need for yourself. It's never good to overwork yourself. Even if there's something that you really want to do, it's really important to take breaks to avoid burnout. It's honestly something I struggle with, because once I'm motivated to do something, I need to get it done. I feel like I have to keep working until I have completed said thing. And it's not always the best in the long run because it leaves me feeling stressed and, of course, burnt out. So it is something I have been kind of working on, honestly. And that is why it is so important to make sure that you pace yourself and give yourself breaks when you need it. Okay. I'm gonna take this, and I think with that we should be almost finished with our little enclosure. I really don't have any big plans. I kind of like keeping things simple in my world, and honestly, I kind of relate that to real life because sometimes you can get really burnt out while playing in a Minecraft world because you're doing too much or too many big projects. So sometimes it's really helpful to slow down and start slow or start simple. And like I said, that can totally be applied to real life. If you have so many things that it's really overwhelming you, just start small. Maybe even make a little list. And honestly, this is like the most helpful thing for me, making a little list of everything that you need to get done, and then picking 3 things each day and just getting those 3 things done, small or big, whatever might work for you. Now I do need some lanterns and probably some torches in here. I'll go ahead and grab some lanterns probably later, honestly, so for now I'll just light it up with that. But I absolutely adore all of the fireflies. I think it's the cutest thing ever. Having little fireflies in here. Now, of course, now that I think about it, I really am going to have to do some sort of sniffer farm so I can actually get the torch flowers and all the things that the sniffers... Oh, hello, why is there a traveling villager in here? Or a wandering trader, I mean. But yeah. Alright, let's just put some moss around here, because I guess the sniffers really do like moss. Oops, hello. And I think it also just makes the area look a little bit cozier and nicer. Not the camels, what are they called? Llamas. Not the llamas spitting. It's not very nice. Anywho. I think... Can I step on this? I can. I think this is perfect. It's really nothing crazy, and I feel like that's what's so nice about it. It's very simple. So now all we have to do is wait for these sniffer eggs to hatch, and we'll have our little enclosure. But that is where I'm going to end the video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching and supporting, and if you made it this far in the video, then make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, because we'll be posting a ton more of things in this similar niche very, very soon. But so with that, I am out. So I hope you guys all have an amazing time zone, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys!